Victor, welcome to the podcast, bro. Thank you so much for jumping on, man.
No worries. Hello.
Hey, man, it's an honour to sit down and have a chat with you, man. I know who you are in the martial arts scene. You're huge, and I want to ask, bro, how did you get into martial arts?
Um, well, I learnt a little bit. Like a lot of my family, my father, and I have a few uncles have like a traditional martial arts background, and they did it like growing up. I did like a few lessons here and there when I was young. My dad taught me to like punch and kick pretty much from the moment I could walk, but it wasn't like drilled into me, just a little bit of training. And then I played sports and stuff through primary school, but I wasn't really good at any sports. And then I think I was about probably 13. I used to get bullied a lot, picked on a lot and stuff. And I was getting
Yeah,
into fights at school. And my dad convinced me to start boxing with him basically, and because he was training boxing at the time. And then from the first session ever, it was kind of the first thing I really liked or enjoyed or gave me confidence. And I felt like I was naturally good at it. So I just kind of spiraled out of control there. Probably about, I think I was in grade nine at the time, so I was like 14 or something.
yeah. Did you have a rugby background, bro? Did you play footy at all?
Nah, man, no. I played a little bit like casually, club and stuff growing up. But nah, not really, man. I didn't really play much football or anything.
Yeah, yeah. So with your fight training, man, talk to us a little bit about how that sort of goes, bro. So it's fucking incredible, man. Like I have just such the highest respect for MMA athletes and what you have to do. And like, how is it for you, bro? When you cut down for a fight, how is the preparation for what you're doing?
It's difficult. Like probably the training part of it is the most annoying part of fighting. Like the fighting part's good, but just the commitment, the training, the dieting, all that kind of stuff. I don't really enjoy that much. I just like the fighting part
Yeah,
really. But yeah, it's just part of the game, I guess. And like, yeah, it's a bit of a love-hate relationship, you know. But it's also a good bout of delayed gratification because you really get to focus on something and it kind of what's the word? It creates value in your life to focus on something so hard and get an outcome based on that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's fun.
yeah. Yeah. Hey, bro, I got to be honest, man. Anything good that has happened in my life is through martial arts. I've been fighting for 30 years and it's just been like the backbone of everything that I do, bro. It's helped me so much. But how has martial arts helped you, bro?
Um, yeah, probably like the same way. I guess. So I guess it fabricated who I was going to become as a man, grow into, and it enabled me to have confidence and the ability to kind of go out into the world and kind of choose the path I wanted and commit to it with anything in my life and be confident and fearless about it, I guess. Um, yeah, it kind of fulfills you as a man, I think, and yeah, it just creates self worth and self value, which I probably didn't really have otherwise, personally. So yeah, all those factors, I guess.
Yeah, facts, bro. 100%, man. And you said, was it boxing the first style that you started?
Yeah, kind of. I actually did some like freestyle karate on and off as a kid, and I got taught that from my family. But I was just a kid, so it wasn't like real training. It was just like I don't really think kids do too well in martial arts generally when they're too young. I kind of it depends, but just it wasn't too serious. But I guess the first serious training I did was like boxing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What style do you like the best, bro? So you've done a little bit of other styles, but what's been your favourite style?
Um, I'm not sure. I don't really have one. I think the beauty of martial MMA is I guess you kind of just take what you want to do and create your own kind of paradigm um, for movement and fighting. And I guess I enjoy doing that. Like I enjoy everything really. Generally for me, I find it hard to kind of work on multiple things at once. Like I can do about focusing on
Yeah.
jumping for a long time, then about focusing on striking for a long time. It's difficult for me to really hone in on on multiple ones at the same time. But I don't know. For me, it's more about just doing my own thing and fighting and just learning lots of techniques, I guess. I don't really, yeah, I don't know. I don't really think of it like that as much anymore. I did a long time ago. Like I did many different styles, but now I just do what I want, kind of, and enjoy fighting, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, man. And what's been some challenges that you've faced, bro, as being a professional fighter? What has been some of the hardest challenges that you sort of faced along the way, dealing with adversity, knockbacks, setbacks? What's been some sort of defining moments that have shaped who you are today?
There's many, I think, but I don't really think of it like that, I guess. For me, the difficult stuff is always just myself. Like it's always fighting myself, fighting my own mentality, um,
Yeah,
fighting fighting my own confidence, finding fulfillment in what I'm doing, finding the desire to do it, all those kinds of things. In terms of like challenges from fighting, like there's heaps like serious injuries and just loss. There's all kinds of stuff happen. You know, you go insane sometimes fighting away like literally crazy in the brain. Um, but yeah, for me, the
yeah,
biggest challenge is and always has been, I guess, myself mentally. So that's the thing for me to overcome. That's always ongoing, I guess.
yeah.
Juggling my life and like who I am as a person with fighting and training and stuff. You know?
Yeah. Life is hard, bro. Life is challenging, especially as a man. It is really difficult. It is hard,
Yeah,
bro. But you know, the thing with martial arts, man, is because you're dealing with adversity on the mat day in, day out, you're able to sort of combat that and utilize that as a tool to overcome obstacles in life. And to be honest, bro, some of the nicest and kindest, sweetest people I've ever met in my life are trained killers. You know, they really are, bro. Like when I slap hands with a black belt, and wrestle, like you might get tapped out, you might tap them out, but you come together and then after you're just friends again. But like it's just that martial arts community, bro. I'm sure you would be the same, man. You know, you probably had some amazing people in your life, but who's been some mentors in your life, bro, that have helped you along the way?
oh, that's a good question. I don't know, like lots of people, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I find inspiration, I guess, from just talking to men in general. I think, like, not necessarily martial artists, but just men that I respect. Who it's more about their attitude and their mentality. But I guess from a martial arts perspective, my coach Simon Clough, he's been with me like all my fights. Always believed in me. Ryan Dunstan, just my general coaching staff. But yeah, I don't know. I take inspiration, I guess, from all kinds of things, like a lot of historical figures, um, a lot of men around me. I kind of look at their qualities and their traits that I respect and try to understand what drives them and take inspiration from that, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. Hard question for me. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think that answers it. I hope.
No, 100%, man, 100%. Yeah, I know Simon. I used to train with Simon. He used to train BJJ with me back in the days. We were in the same gym back in Coorparoo.
Oh, advanced.
He's awesome, man. He's advanced martial arts. Yeah, I used to
Yeah,
train
yeah.
down there with him. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember back in the
yeah.
days
So
when they
you're
were
a
like,
game bred, yeah?
yeah, yeah. But when I was young, like when I was in high
Yeah,
school, Advance was like pretty much the only MMA gym in all of pretty much Queensland, Brisbane at the time. I remember it was pretty much never integrated.
yeah,
Um, yeah, the old days. But
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I'm at Gamebred at the moment. I train around a few times, a few places, just to because I've just been training so long. I'd like to just be in different surroundings and talk to different people and interact with different people to inspire me. You know, it's more about just changing my
yeah.
surroundings and my settings and all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
Yeah. I got to say, bro, you are such an inspiration, man. Because one thing that I've always been fixated on is the idea of self-defense, and a video that blew up online of you defending yourself against two attackers. And what really just showed me and just made such a huge impression on me was your ability to try and walk away, de-escalate the conflict, and peacefully just, try and diffuse the situation, but you had to do what you had to do, bro. And I commend you for that, bro.
Thanks, man. I
Yeah, it was just
appreciate it.
amazing to watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah. And, self-defense
sorry.
is, sorry, you go.
No,
What are you going to say?
Oh, it's probably just
Yeah,
going
so
to answer.
self-defense is,
Sorry, there's a bit of a lag. I was probably going to answer your question before you
yeah,
finish it,
you're
but
on, mate.
you finish the question and then I'll say what I was going to say.
Yeah, yeah. So I think, and this is the beautiful thing about martial arts is, and this is the problem that we have right now in the world. I think if more people did martial arts, we wouldn't have all the bullshit and fuckery that goes on in the world. People shaping up to one another and proving themselves, and their ego gets in the way. And I think we would just have much more of a peaceful society of people that know and have that capability of violence, but then are also able to walk away from violence. Because I've done security. I've been in the security scene, and I know how scary it actually is. But watching you de-escalate that situation and just watching that in a professional manner, it was fucking beautiful to watch, man. But would you be able to break down what actually happened that night, if you don't mind?
Yeah. I'll say something else first. The main reason, so one of the main reasons I actually started martial arts, I couldn't really articulate this in my brain when I was younger, but I was always like really insecure, and I couldn't, like a teenager, I couldn't like go out and go on dates or go hang out or stuff because I just felt too scared to walk outside. But not necessarily scared of violence, but just scared of like I don't know, just scared of being outside. And I got into like I got picked on a lot. Like I got one time I got king hit when I was 15 by like a 30-year-old in South Bank. Like fully king hit, and it didn't like KO me on the ground, but it like KO'd me standing, and I like badly, and he like dog shot me, and I had to go to hospital and stuff. I had like really bad amnesia and couldn't remember anything. And then another time I was walking with my girlfriend. I was like an emo, goth looking kid, and I used to get picked on. And this like again, this grown man started mouthing off at me at my girlfriend's, and I was like 15 or something, 16. And I said something back to him, so I was never back down from people. I was scared, and he punched me in the face, and he fucked my face up. I had braces, and it slashed up all the inside of my mouth. And I have heaps of stories like that. Like I used to just get beat on, but I was really ashamed of myself because I never like defended myself. Even back then, I was doing boxing and stuff, but I wasn't scared, but I just always froze up and was too scared to really do anything about it in these confrontations. And I always wanted to overcome that. And then I also started working security when I was 18. Actually, was at uni to try and learn how to deal with these situations. And the same thing happened. I remember the first fight I was ever in. I was 19, and I got again dog shot by this massive dude from the army. He was probably my height, but he was just like 110 kilos of just juice. And I remember there's a video surveillance of it. I didn't get it sadly, but you can see him like side shot me in the side of the head, and I just took it, and instead of doing anything about it, I kind of just like froze, and I tried to throw my radio away, and then he actually punched me again, and only then I kind of initiated this fight with this guy, and I actually kneed him in the head and tore my pants in half, and then I choked him unconscious. We were rolling on the
Oh,
ground
wow.
for 15 minutes, like straight, and he was way bigger than me, but I didn't know how to grapple really. I could only strike, but I'd done very basic jiu-jitsu and watched UFC basically. Somehow I managed to fucking guillotine this dude. It was, excuse my French. It was like in the staircase, and I
Yeah.
dragged him to the ground, choked him out. It took about 15 minutes of us wrestling. It was like 200 people there watching. Anyway, and then I had many more kind of fights and confrontations where I froze up, and it wasn't out of fear. It was just out of like I don't know how to describe it. Like I don't know, lack of professionalism, lack of being able to do things despite the utility or the ability you have. Like you could be a mad fighter or a mad athlete, but being able to do things correctly is another skill in and unto of itself. So, but the point I'm making is, like you said with that video, that was kind of the culmination of like a lot of practice behind the scenes of how to be switched on, deal with those kind of things, after years and years. And I've actually had many other confrontations that went on video where I handled them quite that well. But as a young person, my goal was always to be able to be that cerebral and relaxed in times of pressure and high stress, because I never was able to do that. And then, surprisingly, in that video, when it actually happened, I did do that. So I was pretty happy with that. And I think it's just exemplifies practice and training, basically, and experience. So
Yeah.
that's the first thing I wanted to say. In regards to your question, yeah, I was just walking up the valley with the girl I was seeing at the time, and we were just shielded in the valley. It was like on a Tuesday, so we'll just walk on for a walk. We used to go for like night walks and stuff and just chat. And yeah, this dude was like walking up and down the street. I'm a bit distracted. I'm spinning this around. This dude was like walking up and down the street screaming at everyone, and he looked like passed out or something. And I immediately knew like I'd probably be some drama with this dude. So actually walked past us, past her, and I pulled her close to me and just said like, "Stay close to me," because this dude's like a dickhead. And then he started screaming at someone, this like group of people, and they just looked like a group of like loiterers. And some dude yelled back at him, and he looked like I don't know what the correct terminology is to use. He wasn't like just a normal valley goer. He was like a street looking dude. But he yelled back at him, and then
He looked like a bit of a shit cunt.
yeah, yeah, I guess so. And then the other dude ran up to him, and yeah, the dude that screamed just started punching him, and I was like, oh, they're fighting. And then back in my security days, it's annoying. I used to have all these videos on Facebook. I used to just document stuff like the street documentary. I was pretty known for it actually on Facebook a long time ago. So I whipped my phone out straight away to document what was happening, and also like, I also knew that if something escalated, I wanted evidence, or if I got involved, I wanted evidence. So yeah, I was getting my phone out, and they were fighting, and then the other dude, the tall dude, ran from like the top of the mall down and started punching the dude as well. So it was 2-on-1, and then that chick, the girlfriend, was like running up screaming. I don't know what she's saying, basically fuck him up or whatever. And so I kept filming it, and I didn't immediately get involved because generally, sometimes in street fights, like people actually don't really know how to hurt each other. It just becomes this stupid, ugly mess, and like nothing bad really happens. It's not worth getting involved, and you also kind of want to see the full scope of the situation. I probably wouldn't have got involved if it looked like something I couldn't handle. You know what I mean? I perhaps would get involved from afar in terms of like calling an ambulance or whatever. But I had to, analyze the situation. And so I was filming, and then they kind of got him to the ground on this video, and then I turned the camera off because I was like, oh, I'll go help out. And in the video, you can hear me say, like, I'm not sure if I should get involved or not. And then, when I approached them, they started they got the better of him. And one was like kicking him in the head while the dude was on the ground, and the other dude was like having it was like a rear naked choke. And I remember the dude was like full soccer kicking him in the face. And then at another point, they were both just dog shotting him when he was on the ground. And I would try to pull one off, and then the other one would hit him, and then I'd let go of that dude and then try to pull him off, and the other dude would hit him. It was kind of difficult, so I was trying to pull both of them away. And then once I get involved, these other dudes that were nearby kind of stepped in as well and shepherded kind of one of them away. And then I had the tall guy, and then he kept kind of shaping up at me, and then going to when they do, I don't know what they do this. They feint at you, he's punch me. And I didn't react to any of his feints. And then I'm like, well, all right, well, let's fight then if you want to fight. So I was like, well, come on then. So I put my hands up, and then he's feinting at me, and I didn't put my hands up because that's it's kind of like holding a gun to someone. But I was just ready, and I was like, are you going to do something, or are you just going to go away? So I was like, fuck off. And then he started, and this is on video. It's just not in the big video. But you can see this in the video. I kind of walks forward towards them to shoo them away from the dude that was on the ground, and they were like walking backwards, like going and swing at me and stuff, which is on video as well. Then the chick got in the middle and she like started screaming in my face, and she actually slapped me, which is on video but not the famous video. And then on the video you can see me like go to block actually, because she goes to like hit me again, and then I kind of like block from her, and then we move down to the chairs, and then the dude picks up the chair and goes to swing at me, and I'm like, right. And this is, I guess, when I guess it all came in with self-defense, but this is kind of when I was like, all right, I like raised my leg to check it, because he had a chair, so I was going to just kick it onto him, or if he tries to swing at me, just kick it. With weapons, I reckon you need to use your legs a lot if you know how to kick, and especially in street fights.
Yeah. Were you worried? Were you worried that they might have been carrying like a knife or something, bro?
Yeah. So I'll get to that. So he pulled the chair, and I raised my leg to like kick it or whatever, and then I didn't back down. As you see, I'm just like, all right, well, I raised my leg, and then he slammed the chair on the ground. Then I backed him up a little bit, and you see the dude. I don't know if you've seen the full video. I'm walking forwards, and he's walking backwards and falls over a fucking like a stool behind him.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, they're not. I've walked like literally like 8 meters now, and they're not actually going to fight me. They're just pretending. So I was like, I can walk away now. So I actually purposefully turned my back, because in my opinion, if you turn your back, it's like a full de-escalation. You know what I mean? And on video and on camera, if you fully turn your back and walk away, it actually shows me completely, like they've walked that way, I've turned my back and walked away. So I felt like if it went to court or something, it shows me turning my back and walking away. And then that's when he starts screaming again and walking back to me. And this is when I thought he might have a knife, because I don't like to use the term street fight, because it's like pretty cringe. But I've been in like a few street fights or fights, and I noticed that when people look weak, when they look like they can't fight, or they look weak or pathetic, but they have like a massive air of confidence about them, they tend to have like a magic trick up their sleeve, like a knife or something. Like I've experienced that firsthand. So after backing away and stuff, and then suddenly he was really confident to power walk towards me, I thought he might have a knife or something. And then I also noticed, if you know anything about knife fighting, which I don't think he did, but it was indicative to me, you take your shirt off and you wrap it around your arm, because it enables you to have a buffering zone to stop yourself from getting slashed up. And he took his shirt off and he had it around his arm. So he had his shirt off and he had it around his arm, which you can see in the video, and he was power walking towards me. So then I thought, oh, he might have a knife. And so then I turned back around, and I kept backing up and stuff. And I was just trying not to let them like get to my sides. So if you keep people, I don't know if perpendicular maybe is the correct word. I'm not sure what the correct word is, but basically I explained this in a video I have on my Instagram. You have like maybe like a 100-degree arc kind of in front of you, and that's kind of your striking distance. If you're standing neutral, and then if you stand in like orthodox, you have like a 90-degree arc that opens up this way, but your dead zone is like to the left. You know what I mean? Like you can't really punch on it's called your outside, obviously. And then if you're southpaw, your outside is on your right side. So I can switch stances. So you can see them in the video. I kind of walk back and then switch stances, walk to keep them in this like arc in front of me. Because if they get around the arc, then they can like punch you where you can't see it and stuff. So I guess the challenge was keeping them both in this arc at the same time. So yeah, I kind of tried to do that, and I just thought like, don't let them get close, because A, if they have a knife, I'll get stabbed, and B, also the closer someone is to you, the less they can telegraph. The less the telegraph is for them to punch you. So I kept walking away, and then they kept trying to circle me and carry on and blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of just saying like, look, like just turn around, walk away, or like we can fight. But I'm not like in this empty zone where they're trying to basically find the perfect opportunity to ambush me for me to make a mistake. So after that went on for a while, I was getting sick of it because I was just trying to walk away, and eventually they probably would get the perfect opportunity. So that's when he got close to me. He put his hand in my face. I slapped him. And I slapped him because why did I slap him? I slapped him because I didn't want to like punch him out because it's like a pretty heavy act of violence, I guess. But I also didn't want him to get that close to me again because he kept getting close. And like I said, I wanted to keep him at that distance. And I also wanted him to know that like if he come close to me, I was going to hit him. So when I slapped him, I actually felt a little bit of fear in this moment. This is the only time I felt fear in that whole situation. Because when I slapped him, he had this look in his eyes and his mate that like, okay, now we're like actually going to try something. Like we really are. Like it's just like it looked real. It was like it's kind of like in a fight when the bell goes. It kind of sounded like it kind of felt like that. It's like, okay, if I fuck up now, I'm gonna be hurt because they'll fucking kill me possibly. So I had this fear of like, okay, it's serious now. I can't fuck this up because they kind of like shape up to me. And I also noticed too, they've done it before because just the way they were moving and stuff, I could tell they were just dog shelters. And then actually on Instagram after it happened, I got many messages from people telling me they've actually been like bashed by those two guys. And I could see that from the way they're moving. So anyway, they both shaped up to me and then I was like, all right, if they get close to me now, they're gonna try something. And so again, they both. It's funny. It's pretty funny in the video. It's like this like formation they've planned. They stand next to each other, and then like one goes wide and the other goes wide. So basically, I thought like, hey, if I let them continue, they're both going to get around me. So I have to take one of them out straight away. So you see me like step back a little bit, and then to measure my range, and then then I just head kicked him because he came closer. Yeah. And the reason I chose to kick him was because again, I think like I don't know how I feel about knife fighting and all that shit. I feel like the best you can do is just try to KO them and keep a distance. So I was like, yep, don't let him get close, KO him. So I head kicked him. I'm not sure how much of a risky move it is. Like a lot of people online say high risk, high reward kind of move, but I don't know. I felt like it was just there. Like I saw it and it was going to land. So I just, I don't know. I just threw it and KO'd him. And then it wasn't a hard kick either, actually. It's just like a bit of a snap. Like I actually probably have done in the past more karate and like that kind of kicking style, so I kind of snapped my kicks a little bit more. I didn't really try and remove his head. And then, then he goes down, so before he even hits the ground, you can see my eyes go to the other one, because I'm waiting for him to come, which is pretty cool. I don't know. I didn't plan that. I just did it. And then he just backs up, and then that was it. So, yeah. And then, obviously, they followed me again and then spit on me and get KO'd again. So, yeah.
Yeah. Bro, you literally took me on a roller coaster then. Just listening to you talk about that situation, man, I'm on the edge of my seat, bro. And what I have to say, bro, it's an incredible video. It's an incredible video, bro, because it really showcases self-defense. And this is what society needs, bro. They need role models like you, bro, because you're a fantastic spokesperson for kids. I teach children BJJ, right? And my higher belts, my high students, I've shown them the video. And I said, look, this is a perfect example of what self-defense is like. This is perfect. You watch what the guy does. You see how he was antagonizing you. You're trying to de-escalate and walk away. You're trying to calmly use your words. But bro, it was just such an incredible video because this is why I think more people need to train martial arts, because you have the capability of violence. You understand also how it is to be violent, but you also understand what it's like to be gentle. And were you worried also, bro, that, and I think this is the problem too, because there was an incident that happened in the States, right, where a martial artist was convicted of manslaughter. He's defended himself. He's hit the guy's KO'd. He smashed his head on the concrete and the guy died. and unfortunately he's in jail for manslaughter. And I mean, were you worried about hurting them? Like, were you concerned about that too, bro?
Yeah, heaps. So, yeah, the whole time really, it's really annoying actually. You know, it's kind of like what's the word? Not catch-22. There's a word for it, but it's irritating, I guess, because I know we don't really have any self-defense laws in Australia in the first place at all. But a jury and the judicial system puts all the onus on you, basically the victor of the scenario, and and it's like I'm in a situation where I can fucking decimate these dudes if I want to, but then again, if I don't and I fuck it up, they're the type of dudes that will stomp my head until I'm dead. So I have to somehow like juggle the fear of them killing me after I've just seen them kick the fuck out of someone else too. I have to juggle that with my own self control, and then with my own skill sets, just happen to use the correct skill, and then also pray to God he doesn't die, basically, and then also pray to God nothing bad happens to me. Like it's a pretty stupid system we have, really, and that's why in the video I did all those contingencies to kind of ensure that I had hopefully the most legal protection I could in terms of like walking away, turning my back on them, not screaming, and not taking my shirt off. And you can see I'm going backwards a lot. Like I think a lot of fighters, even at a high level, sometimes lack the ability to strike going backwards. Like boxers can do it very well,
Yeah.
but to be able to strike efficiently going backwards is actually, I think, it's a fundamental skill. But to be able to do it is sometimes actually quite difficult. So yeah, you notice I'm actually going backwards pretty much with all my strikes, which is good. But actually, as soon as I kicked him in the head, before he even hit the ground, in my head I was like, my heart dropped, and I was like, "Fuck, he's gonna die!" Like I just kicked someone in the head in the fucking street. I literally was like, "He's probably gonna die now." And then, so when he got back up, I was like, thank God, let's get the fuck out of here. So I said, actually, that's another thing. My ankle, my ankle was actually destroyed. You can see it's actually bandaged up in the video. It was really fucked from
Really?
training. Yeah, it's fucked as.
Oh,
And
wow.
I actually couldn't run. Not that I would run anyway, because I think turning your back and running in those situations is almost the invitation sometimes for them to like follow up and attack you, which is another thing that you have to think about. Like, you have to be able to outrun people, and I'm not really that quick of a runner. I can sprint, but like my legs are big, I'll fucking probably tear a hamstring, and yeah, my ankle was fucked, so I couldn't run. And I was with a girl, and I'm not gonna. There's no way she can run. I'm not gonna leave her behind. I was trying to keep her behind me the whole
She'd
time
be
as
running
well.
the heels, bro.
Well, she had like thongs on or some shit, and she's not like a super athletic chick, so. Yeah, like I'm not going to turn around and run away while there's a woman with me. And then again, I was intervening from these guys getting bashed. So yeah, so my ankle was fucked. So yeah, I kicked him in the head, and then I was like, oh no, he's going to die. Like, that's not good. And then, so when he got up though, I was like, okay, thank fuck. So I'm swearing a little bit, but getting into the zone. But so I grabbed the girl, and then I was like, okay, we got to get the hell out of here before something else happens or he drops dead. And then you know what I mean? So there's actually an aerial view of the video. I don't know if you've seen that, but you can see how far away actually we walk, and then they follow up that entire distance. But the other funny thing too is, so we hightailed it and got home. It's funny too because after I dropped in the second time, this crowd got pretty hectic about it, and my girl at the time was going around being like, "Oh yeah," like bragging about me and shit. And I'm like, dude, you gotta shut up. Like, don't be name dropping me. We gotta get out of here because, like, I could possibly be in a lot of trouble right now. So I grabbed her and just dragged her away to her house. And then when we're at her house, I felt bad because I was like, man, that dude probably could have a broken jaw. He could be dead now, or he'd be fucked. I actually felt really bad, and I was like, yeah, I wish I did kick him in the head maybe, but then I kind of had to, but I felt bad about it. And she was like, "Well, don't feel bad because those guys would stomp you on your fucking head till you're dead." which is true because I saw them doing it to someone else.
Yeah,
Which is still funny though,
100%.
because I still feel bad. I was like, well, I know, but it's like, and that's another thing that's in your head. It's like, I'm like, I'm trying not to kill someone who's trying to kill me. You know what I mean? It's weird all these cognitions you go through. But yeah, so to answer your question, yes, I was worried about those things, and they occurred to me at the time. So
Yeah, yeah. But you know what too, bro? It's a beautiful display of martial arts and self-defense. And when I watched that video, man, like I really do think you're a fantastic spokesperson for children, bro. Because this is the problem, man. This is the problem. This is the problem with this bullying epidemic that's going on. More importantly, bro, I think people that have the capability of violence, they don't hurt people. We know this. We know that people that are trained in martial arts, majority of them, obviously there are exceptions to the rule, but most people that are trained in martial arts, they're gentle people and they understand that the reality is when the shit hits the fan, they have to obviously resort to violence. Like I always say, bro, violence is never the answer, but sometimes it's the only answer. But it was just such a fantastic display of self-defense, bro. And I think you would be such a fantastic role model for children, bro, in educating kids on the importance of self-defense, but also just realizing that, you know, there are consequences to your actions. And, yeah, it was just amazing to watch that, bro.
thanks, man. Yeah, I think yeah, I appreciate that. And I got a lot of messages. Like I have a very large following. Um, it's hard, man. Like I try to. I'm actually really introverted, and I try to post a lot and be more engaged with people, but I find it really difficult to do. But yeah, I actually have a lot of following who send me messages about how, like, a lot of people, how I inspire them to basically start martial arts, or I inspire them with just things that I say or the way I act, and it's really humbling for me and valuable to me to be able to, like, I never thought I could be someone that like makes other people, what's the word? I don't know, just inspires them and helps them do things. Like I tried to, like I got thousands of DMs when that video blew up, like literally thousands, and I tried to respond to every single one. And I responded to so many that my neck was hurting from looking at my phone for like 3 weeks straight, and it gave me like mad anxiety just like having so much eyes on me so quickly. But it really made me feel good that I could yeah, help people train and like give them good advice at what to do and how to utilize it and stuff. So yeah, it feels good to do that. And yeah, I always try to answer people when they message me and stuff. And in regards to what you said in the first part of that, I think a big part of martial arts is just that you get your ego broken all the time. Like me, like I was sparring this noob, like for lack of a better word. Not noob, but like compared to me, not quite on the level. And he just punched my head off. Like he just landed some massive punches on me. And it doesn't matter how good you are, like you always get humbled in martial arts. And you go home and you're like, oh man, I quit. This sucks all the time. I think John Wayne Parr talks about that as well. Like, I've quit so many times driving home from a training session, just getting pumped. And you're like on the verge of tears, driving home, and you're like, why am I doing this? I suck. But that constant, I guess, ego challenge to your ego, or ego death, perhaps, is, yeah, really important thing that you don't really get in other sports really at all. I think there's aspects of it. People talk about overcoming challenges, and I believe it, but there's nothing quite like getting your ass beat by another man. Not just when you are a man, but when you're also a highly trained man, for your ego. There's nothing quite like that, and I think that's a big part of why most fighters are really humble, nice dudes. I can't really think of, like, you don't get on with everyone, but I can't really think of any like fighters at my level or above that I know personally who are like egomaniacs in the sense of their own martial arts power. You know what I mean? I think that's because all of them get their ass kicked by each other all the time. So yeah, we're constantly getting our egos checked all the time. I think that's a pretty important part of being humbled as a man, I guess, and growing up.
Yeah,
And
it's
also,
good for you, bro.
So, and also that's actually a massive challenge, a barrier for people starting it, I think, because like all these dudes who are like mad tough or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, I'll go train. I know so many dudes like that who have this like mad tough hard dude mentality, and they have stints with training because they can't handle the ego death. You know what I mean? They can't handle how much it sucks getting shown like, oh, I'm not this bad C word MF. You know, I'm just a dude who looks tough or whatever. Yeah, I think that's quite a big barrier for a lot of dudes to have to deal with. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, my first introduction, because I started with striking arts, but I started Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, 15 plus years ago, and I got my ass handed to me by a girl. She was a high level blue belt at the time,
Yeah,
and you know what, bro? She fucked me up. And I just couldn't believe someone could do that to me. I just could not believe, because I had this idea of what I could do. I had a little bit of grappling experience, but man, she probably only weighed about 55 kilos, very small, petite, but she just squirmed around my back. She was able to get double hooks in, a seatbelt grip, and she strangled the fuck out of me with my gi. And I went home that night, Victor, and I went home, I'm like, fuck. Because there's two things that go off in your head. You're like, your ego's going to get the best of you and say, oh yeah, she got lucky. Or you're going to humble yourself and say, fuck, I got to learn this.
yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as a martial art, bro?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I love grappling. I wish I did it a lot earlier. And I actually, I have like debilitating knee issues actually that I've had for like 8 years. And all through my MMA career, I'm booked in to get a surgery in the next couple of weeks to deal with it. But it kind of messed up my grappling.
What did you do to your knee, bro?
Oh man, I'm just dickhead. When I was younger, I was just crazy. Like I kind of wish I had that same mentality now, to be honest, but it wasn't good for me. I used to do like Olympic lifting and powerlifting, and I followed this method called the Bulgarian method, where basically you just maxed out every day, 5 days a week, on squats mainly. And no matter how much your knees basically get fucked, you just keep squatting and keep squatting and keep squatting and keep squatting for years, like literally years. And I had a massive squat, like at under 80 kilos, I squatted 215 RC thrusts with no belt, like at rock bottom.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to I was
That's
pretty strong.
impressive, bro.
Yeah, and it's not even what I wanted to get. And this is before the time of like social media, really. Like I'm only 31, but I'm right on the cusp of, I guess, when like Instagram and shit began and didn't begin kind of thing. Back in those days, only like weirdos and losers kind of lifted weights, and I was one of them. And so yeah, I don't actually have any much documented, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I used to literally squat every single day, and I'd do like 180, 160, 190, 140, just always. And no matter how much my knees were fucked, I just kept going. And a lot of Olympic lifters get this issue who train this way. And I gave myself really bad quadricep tendinopathy in both my knees, I think it is. And because I did this for years, I did this for like probably 4 years straight. I've been lifting for a lot longer than that, but that's when I was doing this for. And yeah, I just annihilated my knees, and so it got to the point of just no return. So ever since then, I've had like really bad chronic pain in both my knees, where it's kind of weird because it's not an acute injury, like you can just train through it. It's just really painful all the time. So any sort of knee bending kind of exercise I do just hurts, and it's hurt like that for like 8 years now. And I never got surgery because I don't know, it was like too much downtime. But then in the long run, it's been more downtime because I haven't done to train properly. So wrestling, like I'm an okay wrestler, but it's weird. I've always had this stabbing pain in my body every time I wrestle, and I just kind of dealt with it, and it kind of affected me, I think. So I should be a lot better at grappling, I feel like. So I'm going to get my knees fixed up and then just really go all in on that. But yeah, so I wish I did that a lot more in terms of grappling. But and sorry, the reason I did that was because I was just crazy. Like I just didn't give a shit about life or anything. I was just like so focused on just like I just wanted to have the biggest squad to show at the time. And I said, so, when you're young, you don't give a fuck. Now, I didn't care about my body. I was like, I don't care if I
Yeah.
die doing it. I literally don't care. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, and but yeah, in grappling in general, yeah, I just love the art of submission grappling, like where in whatever way it occurs. Like I really love like free flowing MMA kind of submission grappling where it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to put into a sport or a rule set because there's all these different jits rule sets and different type of grappling rule sets that value kind of different skill sets and different happenings. But yeah, I love just where it's just kind of no rules and just grappling and takedowns don't matter, subs always matter, obviously. But position doesn't matter. It's just this free flowing art form. I love watching it. I love watching really good scrambles. I love having really good scrambles. Yeah,
Yeah.
and sorry, the other cool thing too is like my grappling. Like I'm always trying to look to strike people in the grapple. I'm quite good at it. Like I feel I use grappling to open up strikes on the feet and on the ground, and a lot. It's kind of something you can't really do much because unless you're in an MMA fight. But you can do it training wise. But there's no type of grappling that adds that dynamic into it as kind of part of a grappling sport. But yeah, I really love that. I love like biting into submissions, and I love in MMA how a lot of submissions really are just people fighting until kind of they capitulate a submission, and then striking into it. So I think that's a cool style of fighting to use as well. And also for self-defense, like a lot of people say, oh, well, jiu-jitsu doesn't work in self-defense or grappling doesn't work in self-defense because, they have a weapon or there's multiple people, but there's just different ways to grapple. Like, I've been in lots of fights, again, not sounding like a dickhead, where I just double leg someone, didn't go to the ground, slammed them on the ground, and that was it. And if there's multiple people, they're fucked. Like, no one's going to stop me from doing that.
Yeah.
Or just being in a perpetual scramble on my feet and then not even hurting them and then not even hurting me because it's just this perpetual scramble on the feet. But and they're like, oh, what you remember people else on skill? Oh, you didn't even hurt me, and I'm like, yeah, well, like I didn't need to. I just kind of pushed you away. So yeah, grappling is always going to be extremely beneficial in fights, and yeah, a lot of noobs try to say it's not because of you're going to get kicked in the head if you pull guard, but I mean, if you're a retard, really, like you wouldn't do that.
Yeah. There's always an argument, Victor. I've had Richard Norton on my podcast. He's a very successful martial artist and he's a movie star and actor. He worked with Jackie Chan, and I was talking to him on the podcast about these trolls. Yeah, like you always get these people online, bro, that put shit on jiu-jitsu, never go to the ground against multiple attackers. It's a death wish. Don't go to the ground because what's stopping his mate from kicking you in the head? Fair enough. 100% agree with that. But what if you're at a family gathering? What if one of your cousin or uncles is getting a little bit out of hand? Do you really want to be doing a 50-move Carter on his head? Or would you rather be, taking him down to the ground, holding him down without throwing a single strike, holding him down and just saying, look, calm down. And what about children, bro? What about children in a bullying situation? It's not advisable for another child to hit another child in the playground. What if you work in law enforcement, bro, and you had to detain and arrest a suspect? This is where jiu-jitsu comes into play. Until the fight goes to the ground, I mean, jiu-jitsu is the only martial art on the planet that tells you or teaches you how to get back to your feet. And I think all aspects of martial arts are important, bro. All aspects of fighting are important. You need to learn the ground game. You need to learn takedowns. You need to learn how to get back to your feet, bro. But what do you say to these trolls online, man, that put shit on martial arts? They just don't have a clue, do they, bro?
Yeah, it's triggering nowadays. Like I remember in the old days of the internet where like trolls on the internet was just this wild place where no one had a face, and trolls were just like it was just nonsense, swearing at each other and like all this. And nowadays people like go on Instagram and like people like get real deep with it. Like they know someone's entire history. It's like some nameless profile and they know someone's entire history and like write this like essay just decimating their entire personality. It's heartbreaking. I don't know why people do it. It's crazy. But yeah, in terms of like martial arts, it just gives you options. Like I've had heaps of times. Like I remember one time I got tackled through this glass window. It was at the Chalk Hotel back in the day when it was pretty rough. And I kicked this dude out, and then
Yeah, the
I saw
Chalk is
him.
rowdy, bro.
Yeah. I was working there. I kicked this dude out, and I saw him. I saw him walking up the stairs inside again, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I went to take him out, and he instantly just like ran at me and tackled me into this wall. Basically, it was a big glass wall, and it didn't shatter, but it like concave. And he took me. I fell on the ground on my butt kind of thing, and he was like in mount, and he had me mounted, but I didn't know shit about grappling, but I had him in a guillotine, and I was like, it was embarrassing because I couldn't get up. And I was trying to choke him unconscious, but I couldn't choke him unconscious. But also didn't want to because I didn't know how to guillotine very well. But I didn't want to give up the guillotine because then he'd have full mount on me. So I was kind of in this stalemate with this dude, and obviously I could punch his head off if I was on my feet. But I didn't know something which is really simple, which is just how to do a technical stand-up. Like in hindsight, all I had to do was release the guillotine, frame on his head, get to a knee, stand up, then I can take the guillotine again, or I can punch his head off. But I remember being stuck there for like a whole minute or something. It was really embarrassing. And then another guard actually came and like kind of pulled him off me, and then the dude got up, and then the other guard didn't do anything, and then I punched on with this dude, and I got a standing guillotine on him and almost choked him out, and he freaked out. But anyway, the point is, just a little bit of grappling I would have known very easily. Like we worked this in MMA a lot, how to get off the cage, just how to literally stand up, how to do a technical get up. And yeah, just stuff like that. Another time, I did actually this citizen's arrest down the road, and I got this dude in an arm wrap, and I held him there for like 15 minutes for the cops, and it was easy to restrain him. So yeah, grappling just gives you options, man. Like, yeah, there's really no argument as to not. Oh, and I got another mate of mine who was telling me the other day. Actually, he's the full-on grappler. I won't name drop him. I don't know if he wants the story to be told, but he's a mad dog. And he's like pretty much all in on jits. And he was in a bar. I don't know how he did this because I probably couldn't do this. And I can strike. He was in a bar and this dude threw a massive like overhand at him, and he ducked under and got a head arm choke standing and just choked the dude unconscious and just dropped him and walked out before he got into trouble. And it was like full jiu-jitsu.
Badass, bro.
Yeah, it was sick. I was like, what? And there's witnesses. I'm like, how did you do that, bro? Like, that was crazy. I got another mate actually. I don't know if I should tell this story. I know of a dude, an MMA fighter. A dude, I think he pulled a knife on him actually, and he actually got in trouble for this. I'm not sure if I should tell the story, but I do know he got him in a standing Kimura and like shattered this dude's shoulder. I don't know if I should tell the story. It's just a story I've heard, but yeah, he pulled a knife on him and he got in trouble for it apparently actually, but yeah, so grappling always gives you options, man. You're wild if you think it doesn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And yeah, you're right. I think you're always going to get shit on people. You know, people are always going to put shit on you regardless of whatever you do. You're always going to get the haters, and you're always going to get those trolls online, man, that just have no clue. They don't really understand martial arts or grappling or, you know, self-defense. Until you're actually in the zone, in that environment, you don't know what your capabilities are. But it's just so important to obviously be well diverse. And how has just with injuries and everything that you've sort of overcome, bro, how has the preparation been for upcoming fights? You know, how have you managed to, you know, to sort of continue to do what you do, bro?
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky with like really acute injuries. I've only had to pull out of an amateur fight once because I got my leg kicked. I don't know what happened, dude. It's actually probably one of the most painful injuries I've ever had. My quad like doubled in size, and I couldn't walk for like 4 weeks. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like as a fighter, just stuff always hurts. Like if you include both my knees, there's 4 surgeries actually. I want to get done now. I've been putting them off for a long time, just dealing with chronic pain. in 4 different areas. But I don't know. You just kind of deal with it, I guess. Like all fighters always have stuff hurting all the time. You just got to manage it and train around it. It's super annoying. I was like, I remember I was talking to Brendan O'Reilly about it once. How like you take like
Yeah, Badger.
yeah, mad dude. You take like
Yeah,
five.
he's a good dude, man. He's a nice guy.
Yeah,
Used
he's
to train
epic.
with him too, bro.
Oh yeah, mad. Yeah, me too. Yeah, you take like 5 or 6 weeks off, and you just have this pain-free existence, and you're like, well, like this is what it feels. Like, you're not pain-free because you still have your old injuries, but it's like, yeah, just nothing hurts. It's hard to kind of get back into it once that happens. But yeah, dude, just something hurts all the time. Really, I guess it's kind of a weird mental thing you just accept. Like, I actually get annoyed. I'll go into like a normal gym, and someone will be like, "Oh, what happened to you?" And I'm like, "Oh, nothing." What do you mean? And I'm just keep walking like, "Oh, your elbow's bandaged up," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, my elbow's fucked as." And they're like, like, "Why did you say nothing?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, it always hurts. Like, I don't even think about it. It's just stuff's always fucked." I don't even want to talk about it. I just
Yeah.
want to keep doing my thing. I have my right ankle permanently clicks. I think I have like touching scar tissue or something in my right ankle. Literally permanently clicks out loud. It's really annoying. It'll go for like it'll stop for like a day and then it'll just click every step of every step. And then this dude asked me the other day, he's like, "What's wrong with the ankle?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's fucked." And he's like, "Well, you fight with that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What do you do about it?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like, you just fight, you just do it. So yeah, I don't know. It's just part of the life, I guess. You got to just accept it and baby things, and then yeah. I don't really have a good answer. It's just part of it, I guess, is the answer.
Do you do the ice bars, bro? Do you do like any of the saunas or any of the
Me,
rehab shit? Do you do any of that
me,
stuff?
me personally, like, I actually don't really believe in any of that shit. If it works for you, it works for you. But I just don't. I don't think there's any really proven recovery things for me. Like from what I've read and what I've done, it almost all of it seems almost all of it seems like a mental thing for me. I think ice baths do have benefits in terms of like neurochemistry, dopamine, and they do have physical benefits too. But in terms of like acute injuries and stuff, I don't know if I believe in it because like, do you know about RICE, like rest, ice, compression, elevation? Um, RICE
Yeah.
has apparently been outdated. Yet everyone still does it, and it's been outdated in the medical community because acute acute inflammation is actually a good response to an injury because it's the body's injury the mechanism to healing it. So if you try and mitigate that with rest, ice, compression, elevation, or mainly icing actually is the one, then you're taking away the acute swelling and it's not healing. So actually, that is kind of where I manage things is by not doing anything. I actually feel like I heal really quickly from things. Like sometimes I will like fuck something, like my ankle or something. I remember in Thailand, I fucking rolled it so bad, it it was like double the size of it instantly. It was just fucked, and I was limping so bad. Everyone was staring at me in Thailand. Like people were just like staring at me. I went to the gym that night, the lifting gym, and people were just like, "What the hell?" I was walking it was like really bad, and I didn't do anything for it, like nothing. And I went to this physio to see what was wrong with it, and they said a ligament isn't torn. They didn't really know. They were just like your ankle's fucked. Um, but yeah, I actually did nothing for it, and I just compressed it to give it some extra strength and like wrapped it, and I kept training. And then I think about a week and a half later, I was wrestling. Um, or a week later, I was wrestling.
Wow.
So I personally, when I acutely injure something, I actually just leave it, no, I don't. No, sorry, that's wrong. I don't do that. I leave the acute injury, and then as soon as I can use the thing that's injured, I use it slowly and as much as I can. Like I tore my pec once. As soon as I could load it, I did it. I wasn't using machine. I wasn't using bench press. I was doing push-ups as much as. I.
So can you still hear me? My earphones, I think, died.
No, I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to use the injury like as much as I can, even if it's just like moving the injured thing in the range of motion. I don't ice or do any of that stuff, and then yeah, I feel like I try to focus on the musculature of it and strengthen things as quick as possible, and then things seem to heal pretty well. And I haven't ever really had any like acute injuries where it's like, yeah, like this has to be done. All my problems are chronic, basically. Um, and the other thing is too, the reason I don't do ice baths and all that kind of stuff is just because I'm like so lazy. Like for me, I just when I want to recover, I don't even want to eat, dude. Like I don't want to cook and eat. I just want to like if I finish training, I just want to lie down and fucking die and not move. So doing a recovery process requires mental energy that I just don't have. You know, maybe if I had a wife or a girlfriend, that'd be nice.
You're a lazy, disciplined person, bro. You're like me. You know, I consider myself a lazy, disciplined person. Like 90% of the time, bro, I never feel like working out. Like I enjoy working out, but I never feel like going into the gym. You know, when you get into the gym, bro, and you're doing a grueling leg session, you're in there, bro, and you're like, fuck, it's leg day. But you'll get it done, bro. But you know that when you do it, bro, you feel better after.
Yeah. I'm super lazy, really. Like the things in my life, everything in my life, I managed to put 100% focus into like that thing, but then everything else just seems to fall apart. So like recovery is the same thing. Like, I just don't care that much or have enough energy to like I was getting like massages for a while, but then to get a massage, it's, you have to get dressed and you have to drive there. It's, 30 minutes, and then you have to be there for an hour and a half, and then you have to drive back. It's another 30 minutes. It's like 2 hours out of your day just to go get a massage. And then I just like don't care. I'd rather just lay there and do nothing. I don't know if it's better for recovery.
Yeah.
For me though, like I need the mental energy to not do that personally. So for me, I'd rather just lay there and do nothing. So you got to do what works for you.
100%, bro. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think if you think recovery is jumping in an ice bath, fair enough. But I totally agree with you, bro. I think just rest and recuperate, recharge the batteries, good quality sleep. They're all things that you should do, bro.
Sleep for me is
just before we. Oh, bro, sleep is just absolute king, man. The amount of research that they've done now on sleep and just the benefits, it's just imperative, man. It's kind of scary, actually. I was listening to, there's a guy called Matthew Walker, and if you look at Alzheimer and dementia patients, it's linked to poor sleep, and it's kind of alarming that your sleep is so important, not just for physical health, but also for your mental health as well. And you're more likely to be in a road traffic accident if you're underslept, because if you're a fighter, if you're an athlete, you're more susceptible to injury. Your chance of recovery is reduced as well, bro. So sleep, there's no mucking around with that, bro.
Yeah, I know. I got mates who, not many athletes, but yeah, just like dudes who just, like a lot of tradies and stuff, they'll just sleep like 4 or 5 hours a night. I'm just like, bro, I literally like can't do that. I go completely crazy physically and mentally. So yeah.
Yeah. And also too, man, it's weird. The Guinness Book of World Records has taken out the record for the longest amount of time that you can withstand sleep. The World Health Organization suggests that night shift working is a probable carcinogen. So in other words, lack of sleep can increase your risk of cancer. But it is difficult, bro. It is so hard, man, because we need those people in essential service, police, fireys, ambos. These are some amazing people that do some amazing things. We need them, bro. But yeah, I think people are starting to wake up, bro, on the importance of sleep, and especially because you're a fighter, bro. You understand obviously what it's like to recover, and you need that sleep. Speaking of that too, bro, how do you handle the nervousness and apprehension? Because jumping in the cage, man, you know, the night before, a lot of fighters can get the jitters. A lot of guys can get very nervous and just even, you know, not even get a week of sleep. How are you the night before a fight?
Two questions. The second question, the night before the fight, I'm actually pretty good. I think the reason I'm good is because I just literally don't think about the fight. Like, I just made weight. I use delayed gratification. Like, I torture myself to make weight, but then I have like about 13,000 calories usually to refeed or something crazy like that, and about 13 liters of fluid. Once it gets to the stage that I can eat, once my organs have fired up again, I usually go out to like the worst possible food I can possibly eat, like some American chicken burger nugget fucking thing I've been craving, and just eat as much as possible of that. And I try not to think about the fight. I just I just kind of try. I feel like very state of calm. Like, I'm just eating, I'm just in this moment, and everything's done, work's been done. And yeah, I don't really think about the fight. So usually I can sleep and stuff, and I'm just focusing on getting my weight back. But that said, in terms of overcoming nervousness for fighting in general, like, I'm not really good at that. Like, I hate signing contracts to fight personally. Like, some dudes are cool. I hate it. Like, I hate thinking about the next 8 weeks of my life is about I'm going to do this thing. And yeah, I don't really have any good answer. I hate doing it. I would rather take a short notice fight on like 2 weeks notice than do the whole bullshit. And it's actually something I struggle with. Yeah, like, it sucks. It's not very fun. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an answer for how I deal with that shit. I just do it, once I guess, like, I remember when I was young, when I was working security, I've always like been very critical of myself. And when I was scared, I always was like, well, if I pussy out now, I'll go home and think I'm a pussy. And then for the next, forever, I'm going to be torturing myself over it. So I remember, I'd have to kick like 5 dudes out at once, and I was like 20 years old, and they're all big and scary, and they'd fully shape up to you and get in your face. And like, I'm like, these guys will fuck me up. But I just never showed any fear. I never ever backed down, pretty much ever. Like, I tactfully navigated things and tactfully backed down, but I never ever didn't allow my job to get done out of fear. And generally, it didn't actually ever happen that much for some reason. But the reason I did that, because I've always struggled with fear, was because I knew that if I went home that night, I wouldn't be able to fucking go to sleep thinking I'm a pussy. So I just didn't do it. So it's kind of the same, I guess. I'm like, I've signed up, I'm at the fight. I know I won't be able to live with myself if I be a coward, I guess. So I just do it, I guess. I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. What about teaching, bro? Because you're a fighter, you're an athlete, you compete, but is there ever, do you think there might be a point where, stepping out of the cage and maybe just diverting your attention towards teaching? Did that ever cross your mind?
Yeah, like, I do a lot of PTs and stuff, but I just, I don't know, like, I think I'm a good teacher because I'm very, like, I'm good at explaining things, and I'm quite thorough mentally. But I just don't know if teaching specifically martial arts in that way is something I want to do. Like, I like educating people and using knowledge and teaching people stuff. Like, I love these kind of conversations. I love talking to people. I love getting the ability to articulate my thoughts to people in an intellectual context. So if I could find some sort of field where I can talk to people like I've always been interested in counseling. Like I did I did a bachelor of psychology. I might do my honors one day, but I don't know if I want to do that per se. But I am interested in talking to people and teaching people and trying to lead them. I feel like I give good advice to people too. And yeah, like with some sort of lifestyle or martial arts perspective to it, perhaps would be good. But yeah, I don't think I could like train. I don't think I'd be very passionate enough in every moment to be a good coach for martial arts. You know what I mean? Like to be doing like classes and teaching people and all that kind of stuff. So it would have to be more of like a inductive or theoretical kind of aspect component, I think, for me personally.
Yeah. What about kids, bro? You know, we're seeing, unfortunately, a lot of youth crime. You know, there's crime going on all the time, and I'm hearing more and more about, you know, vandalism and theft and break-ins and, you know, just a lot of violence. And, you know, because you have that capability of being able to articulate yourself and just really resonate with a lot of people, would that sort of ever interest you, like working with kids and just trying to sort of get them on the right path?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love talking to kids. I love kids. I can't wait to have kids. I would like to teach kids. Yeah, for sure. I think like, yeah, I don't know. It's not something I've really occurred too much or focused on something as much, but yeah, I think I could do it. I'm not quite sure how I would like what place I would have though, or how I could contribute there. But I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I haven't really thought about it that much.
Yeah. Like what if you had, because you have a degree in psychology, you know, because you're in a fight gym, there could be some sort of avenue where you could do counselling at the gym, but parents also could bring their kids to martial arts, but also, you know, you could talk to them about just, you know, just being a good student and listening and learning and respect and discipline and all the things that's important, that what makes us men. Because I got to be honest, bro, I think boys need role models, and I think you'd be a fantastic role model for kids, bro. And I think it's just so important, man. Yeah, I really do, bro. I think you'd be a really good role model, man. And I think it's just important for our young boys, man, to grow up in a society where they know what's expected of them. Because I think young boys are confused right now, man. The whole problem that we're getting right now with all this crime is boys are confused. They're not getting disciplined, and they need an outlet, man. And what a remarkable transformation you know, people can make through martial arts. Like you and I, bro, this is how this whole podcast is happening right now is because of martial arts and what it's done for you and I. But yeah, bro, I think you'd be fantastic with kids, bro. There could be some sort of opportunity for counselling at a fight gym. I'm not too sure, but, you know, have you thought about doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about it too much, but I might look into it. I actually, one of my coaches and the owner of Gamebred, Jace Lonigan, actually was talking to someone about that for me specifically as another recommendation. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could think about it. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I can say. Yeah, yeah. I should probably have a look, think about it. I'm always trying to find something to do with myself. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think you'd be good, bro. I think you'd be really good, man. I think you'd be great with kids, and because obviously you have a life experience, you know, you also understand martial arts. You're a fighter. You understand what's required and the discipline and what it takes to get to where you want to be. But yeah, bro, I think you'd be really good at it.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, no, I'll think about it. It's just, it's so hard in Australia. Like, I feel like it's so bureaucratic, you know, it's so hard to start something and start a business and the bar of entry in this country specifically is quite difficult, I think, when it comes to an innovation or any sort of business really. But yeah, no, Yeah, I would be interested in it. I'll think about it. I'm trying to still really decide what I really want to do. So many people are telling me things I gotta try and gotta do, but yeah, I just gotta get in there and get involved and stuff, I reckon.
Yeah, it's hard, bro. I think a lot of people don't know what their direction in life is, man.
Mm.
Yeah, we obviously are just constantly influxed with emails and messages, and we're stressed. We're more stressed now than our great grandparents were. They didn't have iPhones and Android phones, and
Yeah,
a
yeah.
shit ton of messages and emails and things like that. Like, I think we're more stressed than ever, bro.
Mm.
What's your sort of routine look like, Victor? Like, you said you get good sleep, bro? Like a typical morning, like you obviously are very healthy. What's a typical morning throughout the day and then the evening look like for you?
Um, I usually like wake up and do some sort of training in the morning, like either like pads or pads or gym, or usually I do like more one-on-one type things in the morning, so I'm not really that focused in mornings mentally. And then I'll come home, sleep, probably eat. I do some PTs, and then I'll train in the evening again. And yeah, that's it. It's all over the place. I'm not very good at I don't really have much of a schedule. I kind of try to regulate myself based on feeling a lot, especially like when you train a lot. I find it hard to stick to something because you might get injured or your brain might just be thinking something different at any given time. So it's a bit up and down. But yeah, I kind of try to stick to that schedule. I was supposed to fight like I think it's like 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now. And I was feeling real good for that one. I was zoned in for it. It was going to be a pro boxing fight. But the guy pulled out like very close to the fight, which is pretty annoying, and they couldn't find a replacement. But that was like, yeah, I was doing like 24-hour day fast or 16-hour fast, one of the two. I was like eating once or twice a day pretty much. And yeah, I was just training in the morning, coming home, sleeping, and then doing some work and stuff, and then eating maybe one meal or something like that, and then training again. And yeah, it's good. It's good to like when you have a fight booked, you get this like laser focus like that. But since then, it's been a few weeks ago. I became a bit disenfranchised, and I've been a bit all over the shop. Um, Not partying crazy, but just like I don't know, just having a bit of like time to rest my head a bit from the focus of fighting. It's kind of upsetting when you do a full camp and you don't get a fight. A lot of people like to jump straight back into another camp, another fight, but for me, I just couldn't be bothered this time. I needed to have a bit of a siesta mentally, and yeah, I think now I'm going to get these surgeries done like within the next couple of weeks. I've just finally gone through the rigmarole of like see the specialist, get the scan, see the other specialist, booking, blah blah, do this kind of stuff. So yeah, I want to get these surgeries done and then recover and then start training hard again and see where I go. Yeah.
Yeah. And have you done much training? You said you've been to Thailand. Like, have you trained over there with the Thais? Have you done some Muay Thai over there, or have you even
Yeah.
been over to some of the fight gyms in the US?
Yeah, so I've only trained in Thailand. I didn't really like join any camps. I kind of just went around trained everywhere, which probably isn't the way to do it, but I don't know. There's just so much going on, eh? Like I might go here and train, and then I'll go here and then see this side. I was pretty wide there, hey. Like I would train morning and night in Thailand, and then I'd just go exploring on a motorbike and do some crazy sites or see something like that. But yeah, I didn't really join a camp, but yeah, it's good training over there. I definitely do want to go to the US. I was thinking about going there later this year, actually. I'm going to go to Europe in August, and then I was thinking about popping over in America, doing some grappling.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I haven't really planned it yet, but yeah, I don't know. I don't really plan stuff. Hey, I just kind of like do shit, and see what happens. But yeah,
Yeah.
I really want to fight internationally. Like my next goal, I just need to push for it more. But yeah, I'd like to get an international fight, like a bare knuckle or something, or bare knuckle MMA. I got actually quite a few international offers for fights, but they just didn't really work out. And I got a bare knuckle offer as well. So yeah, I don't know. I'll just see what happens, really.
Yeah, just see how you go, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Yeah. With obviously everything that you've got going on, man, and you know, as we were talking about earlier, man, life as a man is very challenging. You know, I've had my fair share of dark days, and you know, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. But for me, bro, I think martial arts has just been such a huge blessing in my life. It's just helped me so much. But what would be some advice, bro, that you could give, say, a young teenager that's just having a really difficult time in just this whole situation, you know, figuring out what he wants to do in life? He's having problems. Maybe he's not very academically sound. He's just having trouble with even making friends. Me personally, join a fight gym. That's the best investment you could ever do, I reckon. But what would be some advice, bro, to give to the youngsters out there?
No, I say this to a lot of young people, not especially, but even people in their like late teens, early 20s. I always say the same thing, and I pretty much say that, especially as a man, as a boy. You know, women are fully grown and beautiful and stuff by 20. As boys, we have to grow into men, but not many guys do that. They hit 18 and then they start partying and doing all this shit, and it's like this slow burn into adulthood where they never really realize anything. I feel like men are utilitarians, and we have to be working on our merits. So I always say to young people, women included, choose something in the three large aspects of yourself, like physical, artistic, and intellectual. You know, it might be like learn to paint or play an instrument, or generally I say martial arts, but any sort of physical thing that makes you want to do it and become the best physical body you can be. And intellectually, you know, it doesn't matter how smart you are, but just have knowledge or try to get it in something. And then as each day goes by, you work on these things, and as you become older, you have this like toolbox of skills and talents and knowledge and things you have. And then when you know, hit 30, you may not know what you want to do, but you have the utility to be able to make things happen for yourself in your life, you know, as opposed to just kind of like riding life day by day and doing some fucking job like in a hospital or something. No, that's bad, but you know, people do that for 20 years and they don't build any skills, and it's like you haven't given yourself utility. So I think we have to, as boys especially, we have to learn to become men, and to do that we have to go through the tribulation of achieving things and doing things. So I say engage in the world, choose something out of those three aspects, and just work on it. And as each day goes by, time, you know how time goes by, flies by, and then you have these skills, you know, that can serve you as you get older, and things should hopefully just you know.
Yeah, bro, that's some wise words there, brother. I think as men we have an opportunity to become a superhero, and trauma and hardship and overcoming obstacles is what makes us men. It's what makes you a good man. A good man has been through struggle. You know, he's been through shit. You know, if we look at comic books like Batman novels and things like that, Batman is who he is because his parents died. He overcome struggle and hardship, and bad things do happen, but they don't happen in a sense where one of my friends, he's a good friend of mine, he's a life coach. He said, bad things don't happen to you, but they happen for you. And you really made some good points there, bro. You know, find a skill, learn a skill, whether it be in the physical realm or artistic kindly, if you're painting or learning an instrument, man. I think that's some really good advice there, bro. So what's on next for you, man? You said you've got a fight coming up. Is that correct?
Well, so yeah, well, last fight got pulled out on, so I was gonna look for another fight now, but I think I'm just gonna get these surgeries done, and then so I keep looking down this whole podcast. I'm not, I don't know, I'm like looking in other places that aren't the camera. I hope people aren't watching it and be like,
you're right,
"Is this guy like autistic or something?" Not that that would be a problem, but anyway, yeah, no, I think yeah, I'm gonna get these surgeries done. I've got some investments I want to get done with some personal things, just selling some assets and stuff, some crypto, and then I'm going to travel to Europe and then come back here and work my ass off. Hopefully, start training hard, start fighting, and hopefully recover these injuries. And then yeah, I guess that's it. I'll see what happens after that. Hopefully, I want to find a wife and get married and have kids as well. So that's also on the radar.
I love that, bro.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I love that. How has the whole dating scene been for you, bro?
oh, I don't know if I should say on publicly. I don't know. It's chaos, man. It's weird. It's like it's so weird. It's like it's easy. It's easy to casually date, but it's hard to find something really meaningful. I feel like nowadays. But I never
Yeah,
really wanted to do that until I was like 30. I didn't really care or see the value in it, but now I do see the value in it. And yeah, the fact you want it makes it more elusive. But
yeah,
it's just part of life. It's not a problem. It's just yeah how it goes.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I'm looking
yeah.
forward to like
It,
moving into that chapter of my life, hopefully. So yeah,
I love that, man, and I think you've got some life experience, and I think you'd be a good dad, bro. And yeah, I think that's amazing, bro. I think that's a beautiful thing, bro, to start a family, and
yeah,
yeah, just I think that'd be fantastic.
yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. So that's on the agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I love that, bro. Bro, it's been an absolute honor, man, sitting down and having a chat with you. And thank you so much for your time, man. And I really appreciate it. And where can people find you, bro? You're on all the socials?
yeah. Just Instagram really is all I really use. Just DM me there at Impaler Vicky, like Vlad the Impaler, VIKKI. Yeah, that's where you can chat to me. Yeah, I'm having a bit of a break from social media. I'm just trying to stay a bit low profile at the moment. I get stressed sometimes with like the social sphere, and I think like nowadays there's too much stimuli we receive on social media and the news and world news and all that stuff. So I've been trying to be a bit more unplugged in the last couple of months or even the last year, um, just to kind of let my like stress levels be normal and yeah, not get too much stimuli from the outside world. But yeah, so yeah, thanks also for having me. It was actually a good chat. Had fun. I haven't actually chatted to anyone like this for a long time, so it was pretty cool to do. Yeah, respect. All good.
Thank you, bro. That's nice of you to say, man. And I 100% agree with you. I think social media is a tool, but yeah, I think it does have a bit of a dark side too, man. And yeah, I totally agree that it's good to unplug and just have that bit of escape. And I don't think it's a bad thing whatsoever, even to maybe have a week off, whether it be going camping in the mountains with the boys or going on a holiday and not having to worry about checking social media. And yeah, it just does you the world of good, man. Just get out in nature and do shit. I think that's really good. But yeah, bro, I'm sure we'll chat again soon. And yeah, all the best, bro, just with everything that you're doing. And
Is it,
just a huge congrats, man. And obviously,
where are you
sorry.
located out of, by the way? You said I didn't know you were in Brisbane.
Yeah, I'm in Brisbane, bro.
What,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. So I'm in Upper Mount Gravatt. Do you know where Garden City is?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just round there, bro. So yeah, I teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I have a school in Salisbury, so I teach down that way. But yeah, dude, I love teaching, man, but I always connect with fighters, man, and I just learned so much from talking to fighters and what they've had to overcome. And as I said, bro, it was just such an honour to sit down and chat with you.
Yeah, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. It was a good chat for sure.
Yeah. All right, bro. You enjoy the rest of your day, man, and I'll chat to you soon. Thanks again,
Thanks, bro. You too. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye.
Awesome, bro. Bye.